Well, good morning, everybody. I'm glad you're able to join me. Let me go ahead and bring my iPad up while I'm waiting for everybody to get on here. Okay. All right, and when you come on, be sure that you comment and say hello. And if you're not from Arkansas, say which state you're in so we can kind of follow along. That'd be kind of fun to see where everybody's coming in from. Okay, I'm just going to give a moment for everybody to get here. Hope everybody's having a good day. We've got some rain coming in here in Arkansas, and our temperatures are supposed to be fairly low for this time of the year, so that's a good thing. But I want to welcome you all to my Creating Cards with Debbie Facebook page, and I'm going to be doing 3 cards today. So I hope you'll enjoy each of them. Let me go ahead and turn you down here and we'll go ahead and get started. Hopefully we don't have any difficulties today. Let me turn this way to keep from getting the cords tangled up. Okay. I keep getting that message that says that I can't rotate my phone while I'm doing a live, but it looks like it's fine to me. I don't really know what that's about. Let me just try to zoom it again. And there's that message again. I'm just making sure we've got a good view here. Well, I've got a delay in my iPad, so I'm waiting for that to catch up with me. I think that's probably good. Let me get my lighting over here. It's kind of a dreary, cloudy day today, so I've got to add some extra lights, I think. Let me see what that does. Come on, iPad, catch up to me. I think that's pretty good. Okay, like I said, my name is Debbie Foster. I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And I want to welcome you here today. Be sure that you like and share the video. That brings me more viewers. And also, if you're watching this on the replay on YouTube, be sure that you hit that subscribe button down below and also like the video. So we're going to go ahead and get our information all out of the way here before we start our cards. Like I said, I'm creating cards with Debbie. You can shop in my online store for Stampin' Up! Products that we use today and any other ones that you might be needing. And that address is www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And if you're doing any shopping, my July host code is WE9TXMXY, and you'll use that code if your order is under $150. So let me see here. Stampin' Up! Still has our designer series paper on special with a 15% savings on 9 different packages of it. So you want to be sure that you get in on that, and that's only good until August 2nd. So you might want to stock up on designer series paper that you're needing. It's beauty of the earth, bloom where you're planted, hand pinned, in good taste, in the wild, pansy petals, sweet symmetry, tidings of Christmas, and You're a Peach. And we're going to be using the You're a Peach paper today. Okay. So, and our paper pumpkin sign up until August 10th is the Hope Box. And this is kind of different. It's got, it contains supplies to create 9 cards in a coordinating envelopes. You'll get a classic Stampin' Spot, and an exclusive stamp set comes with it. And it'll also include your dimensionals and glue dots. So you'll have everything that you need to assemble these all together. You might want to just add your scissors, and maybe a liquid glue would be all that you'd have to furnish. And when you first sign up the first time, you'll get a acrylic block included with that, so that'll get you all started and ready to go. But they're making the box pretty so that it can be kept as a memory box. Well, it's called Hope Box. But you can throw different memories of different things in there and save and look back at a later date. So it's kind of fun. And the box is really pretty too. It's colorful. All right. Let me move my sign out of here. And starting August 3rd, the mini catalog, December 2021. It should have started in July, but it was delayed because of shipping situations that are going on right now. So they had to delay it a month, so it starts August 3rd until December. So that's our mini catalog. I can't show you the inside of it, but I can show you the outside. And also, along with that, starting August 3rd until September 30th, is Celebration. We usually only have just one celebration a year, but they've started it so that we're going to have 2 a year. So that's really exciting. Who doesn't like free products? So with every $50 you spend, you get to choose a free item out of this catalog. So that's my kind of shopping. I like that. All right. And of course, our annual catalog debuted in May, and that's May to April 2022. So got something on there. All right, I think that's all I got to cover. Oh, and also, if you would like to get a discount on any of your Stampin' Up! Products, for $99, you can choose $125 worth of products, and that's free shipping. You do have to pay the sales tax on that $99, but if you have any questions on that, be sure that you email me or get with me. And I didn't tell you my email address. Let me do that in case you have questions on today's live. Okay, my email address, if you need to contact me, is creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com. Or you can private message me too, either one, on Messenger. So let's go ahead and we'll get started. I'm going to be using we're going to be using the stamp set Sunny Sentiments, and the dies that I'm using are the Stitch So Sweetly. So let me go ahead and get our bits and pieces out here and the card so we can get started. We'll put that aside. And here's the card. It says a happy hello to you, and the inside says thought you could use some sunny thoughts today. And who doesn't need that? We always like something sunny and bright and cheerful to cheer us up some days. or just to let somebody know that you're thinking of them. So let me get my bits and pieces out here, my instructions, and we'll get started. We're going to start out with the Calypso Coral cardstock, which measures 5.5 by 8.5 inches, and then it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. So we're just going to burnish that edge. And for our inside, we have basic white, which measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're just going to set that aside for a moment. And then I have embossed a sheet of basic white also that's, well, I've got my measurements wrong there. What did I do with my ruler? I have lost my ruler. Huh. I don't know. That measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I've embossed the one side of it using the mini embossing folders, which is called the Checks and Dots embossing folder. And this has 2 folders in it. It comes with one is the Checks and Dots. I'm not sure if you're seeing that very well. And the other one is just the dots. I guess you can kind of see them. But we're using the dot one. And I just ran that through our Stampin' and Emboss machine. And I just did a partial. I didn't do the whole sheet because, well, really it doesn't fit the whole sheet. So I just did the partial and left the bottom undone because we're going to be putting our Designer Series paper, this one, which is out of the You're a Peach Designer Series paper, and this is the one that's 15% off also. I'm just going to wait for my camera to catch up here. Make sure we've got a good view. I'm turning it the wrong way here to get a view. So we're using this side of this one. Alright, and that measures 1 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're just going to glue that to the front of that using our liquid adhesive. And I don't think there's any difference on which right upside down or anything, so we're just going to glue that down to the bottom. But the liquid glue, you've got time to move it around if you need to. I've got that on there pretty good. And now we're going to take our ribbon, which is the woven ribbon. It's the Pale Papaya and white, and you can just barely see the white. But we're going to put that across that seam, and then we're just going to use some Scotch tape to attach it to the back side. And just want to make sure I got it in the right position here. And this side is just straight. Okay, now we're going to take that and we're going to attach it to the front of our card base. Let me put that aside for a moment. using our glue. And we're going to put that on the front of our card base, and I think I'm going to turn this over to this side. Alright. Oops, and it moved on me, so I've got time to move it a bit with the liquid glue. Alright. And we're going to set that aside for a moment. And we've got Calypso coral that we've cut out using the dies, which are right here. I'll show you which ones I use. That's the Stitch So Sweetly. And I've used two out of there. I used this one. It's for the Calypso coral that I cut out. And this one is going to be for our white, where we're going to stamp our sentiments. We're just going to do that here. And putting over my stamps here. And that's going to be a happy hello. And we're just using black memento ink. And I want to make sure I got a good impression with this. And my other card, I used my Stamparatus. I guess I should have got that set up and used so I get a good impression, but we're going to try it without. Maybe if I leave it there a second, it'll pick it all up. But that ain't so bad. Alright, we'll put the lid back on our ink pad so we don't get that all over the place. And we're going to bring over our Baby Boss, which is our mini Stampin' and Emboss machine. I've got to put this down to size so it fits in there. Just tear it, tear off a little bit more. And I hope I didn't tear too much. I'm good. Alright, then we're just going to center that. And the Baby Boss is so good and handy to have on your desk or your work surface, so it's always right there when you need it. This will also use the small embossing folders. Will fit in here. Alright, I'll set her aside. And here's our die cut stamped image. And this will glue on top of our Calypso coral die cut. Did everyone have a good weekend? Ours was good. We didn't do anything special. It did go fast. Most weekends do. Okay, then we're going to put this up on dimensionals. And I'm going to use my take your pick tool to pull those off. I'm sticking my finger. We've got dump trucks going by this morning, so they're making some rumbling. I apologize for that. And I think I'll put one in the center too to help brace it a little bit. And I'm going to use my take your pick tool to pop those backings off really easy. And then we'll place that on the upper left corner. Center it and press. And then I made a bow using that ribbon. And we're going to take a glue dot and we're going to put that down. Many glue dots. And I'm going to use the take your pick tool again to take one of those off. And I'm going to put it right down on the other ribbon. I think I'm going to do 2 or 3 because its ribbon is a little bit thicker than the normal. I want to make sure that it stays down good. Alright, and then we're going to place it down there. And I kind of put it at an angle. I don't put it straight. Like so. And then we're going to work on the inside. Which is, we're going to stamp Thought You Could Use Some Sunny Thoughts Today. It's going to be our inside sentiment. And we're going to ink that up really good too. I probably need to re-ink my memento pads. We're just going to stamp that in the middle. Alright. And all we got to do is glue that to the inside of our card. Okay, did I say the dimensions on the inside, basic white? It measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, in case I didn't. And we're just going to line up our 3 sides to see if they're straight. We don't worry about this side because nobody really notices that edge of it, so just make sure it's straight on these 3 lines. Alright, so then we have that. And now we're going to put some bling on it. Did I not put that in here? I maybe didn't. Let me grab my beauty box here and get all of my gems out. And I think I used do I have a package of rhinestones open? Let me go back. Okay, we get to open a brand new package of rhinestones. And then we're going to use our dark pale papaya blends. And we're going to color those to the color that we want to match our paper. Alright, so I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to use the brush end of the blends to color my rhinestones. So we're just going to go with the small ones. And it's a good thing about the blends, you can color your rhinestones to whatever color you want to match your card. So it's just an added use for your blends. Alright. I'm going to take my putty end and my Take Your Pick tool, and looks like I should have gotten more. I'm going to squeeze a little bit more putty out. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and pick our rhinestones up, and we're going to place those. And I had a little bit of blend color on there. I should have let it dry a little bit more. Okay. Back in the box. So here we have the front of our card and the inside. So that was pretty quick. It came together pretty quick. So let's get on to our next card. And move some things around here. So our next card is using that same paper, the Designer Series paper, but we're using the stamp set, which is Sweet as a Peach. And this has dies also that come with the bundle of that, which are the Sweet as a Peach dies. And I love this set because you're not limited to just making peaches. You can have these be cherries or plums. So it's kind of whatever you want fruit-wise. You can change it up. But here's our card that we're using today. It says, Happy birthday. Hope your day is sweet as a peach. So let me get my bits and pieces here. And I apologize for the rumbling. Plastic and paper here. Okay, so get myself situated. Alright, we've got our card base is the Balmy Blue cardstock, and that measures 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and then it's scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. So we're going to burnish the edge of that. And our mats for our card is Pear Pizzazz, and that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then our Designer Series paper measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. So we're just going to glue everything down here. This comes together fairly easy too. So we're going to glue our Designer Series paper to our Pear Pizzazz cardstock. If I can get my glue to cooperate with me, we will. Do I have a glue booger in there or something? It might have been. And it could be getting low too, that I need to open a new bottle here pretty soon. Okay, so we're going to attach that to our Pear Pizzazz mat. And get that lined up and straight on there. Alright, and then we have the opposite side of that Designer Series paper is the blue polka dotted. So I've cut that, a strip of that off, which is 1 inch by 3 3/4 inches. And we're just going to lay that across the front of our card there. So I'm kind of going midway, not exactly in the center, but probably like, I don't know, 2/3 of the way down or something. And then I've got a strip of white cardstock, which is cut from the Mini Messages dies. And this is kind of unique. It has the stamp sets that go along with it, which are, there's 2 of them now. We have Many Happenings and Many Messages. And you can stamp these, and then the die will cut them all out. But I went ahead and used the dies, and I cut out just white cardstock so I can keep them blank, and I can stamp on any sentiments, whatever, that I might want to use at a later time. So that's what we're doing today. I've got this one here, the shape, and we're just going to stamp happy birthday on that. And I'm using the happy birthday out of this Sweet as a Peach, which is this one here. So we're just going to use the black Memento ink again. And hopefully I can get this on there straight. I'm going to use my mat here to give it some cushion, being that we're using the photopolymer. And I'm going to stamp it over towards the right side of that. And I hope my head doesn't get in the camera here. I need to get over the top of it so I can see, make sure I'm getting in the right place. Alright. Okay, that looks good. And we're just going to close that up for a moment. And I want to put this kind of at the edge there. So I'm going to bring in my mini trimmer and I'm going to chop that end off a little bit. I wish this was available to everybody. It was a promotion that was going on for new demonstrators to sign up. But I wish they would have put it in the new catalog for everyone to purchase. It's really handy to have on your desk. So I apologize that you're not able to buy that. I usually don't like to show things that you can't buy, but I guess that's one exception. Alright, then we're going to place our sentiment off to the left side of our little strip there, Designer Series paper strip, like this. And now we're ready to glue that to the front of our card base. I don't have any funny stories to tell or anything. I guess my life must be kind of boring. Oh. I did get a phone call the other day from the pulmonologist appointment people to set up a test for me to check my lungs because I've had some lung problems in the past. So in order to do that, I got to go have a COVID test before. So I thought, well, great. I've had both of my shots. Why should I have to have a COVID test? But I guess they're still requiring it for the certain things. So I'm not looking forward to that, but that won't be until in August, the end of August. So I've got some time to stew about it. So I guess it is what it is. Okay. So now I've taken our white baker's twine and I've made a triple bow using that. And we're going to place that at the bottom of our area there. And I'm just going to use some glue dots to attach that. Let me get that off of there. And with such a small area, I'm going to roll that up in a ball. Oops, where did that go? There it is. Alright, we're going to place that right there. And set our bow on top of that. And we need to trim down our tails of our bow. They're a bit long. Okay, I'll throw those away. And for the front of our card, I used some gems that are called, let me find them here. I should have had them on, I didn't. Excuse my unorganized situation. Here we go. These are called the blue adhesive backed gems. So that's what we're using on this card. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool again. And I'm going to use the small. So we're going to take 3 of those and we're going to place them on the side here. I guess these are the medium ones. I was thinking I was using the small ones. Okay, so here's the front of our card. So now let's do the inside, which I've got another strip of Designer Series paper that measures 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and then a sheet of the basic white cardstock, which is 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And we're just going to attach this little strip to the left-hand side of that. Hi Marlene, glad you could come. Be sure that you like and share my video with everyone. I'd appreciate it. Good morning. Okay, so we're going to put that on the side and attach that. And I'm going to turn it over to make sure that it doesn't need trimming. It needs a little bit right here. And we'll take our glue and attach that to the inside of our card. And I probably should have done my stamping first, but I'm going to hope for the best. Alright, I'm going to put that in the inside of our card and have it centered. And we're going to stamp Hope Your Day Is Sweet as a Peach. So we're going to use the black Memento ink again. And we're going to start out with the Hope Your Day Is. And Sweet as a Peach. Right underneath that. Alright, so there we have the inside of our second card. Well, we're doing pretty good with time today. There we have it. Happy birthday. Hope your day is as sweet as a peach. Okay. Let me kind of clean up here a little bit. We'll get to our final last card. And this will be the paper that we're using for our next card. It's the Simply Elegant. And here's the card that we're making. I'm not really showing that very well. Let me scooch that up a little bit. Now this one isn't on sale, so it's the regular price. Simply Elegant. It's gorgeous. So here's the card. Give you a better view of it. It says, for you, wishing you a wonderful birthday. And we're going to be using the stamp set, which is the Elegantly Said. And this you can get in a bundle with a punch. Get something things out of the way here. This is the punch that comes in that little bundle. The Elegant Tag Punch. Alright, so let's get ourselves started here. Get my bits and pieces out here. Oh, there's my ruler. I found it. It was in my basket of goodies here, right beside me. And I'll pull this out. Alright, so let me get my instructions. Elegantly said. We're going to start out with the vanilla cardstock as our card base. And that measures 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And we're going to have to bring our big boss over here to do some embossing. Let me get those set aside here and make room for her. But I've got 2 pieces of cardstock that are very vanilla. This measures 4 3/16 by 5 7/16 of an inch. And we're going to emboss that using the Time Worn Type 3D embossing folder. Let me get that out here. It's this one here. I don't know if you can see it on camera. We're just going to go ahead and bring our big boss over here. We'll go ahead and emboss that. Let me get up here and grab her. This is our big emboss and cut machine. I just call her my big boss. And we're going to be using, for the 3D embossing folders, we need to use the plate 1 and the plate number 4, which is for 3D embossing folders. You don't use any of the clear plates at all. So let me go ahead and do that. I want to make sure that my paper is straight. I'll grab the right one. No, I had the wrong one there. There we go. And I like it because it has a line at the bottom of the embossing folder, so you can kind of line up your paper with that and to make sure it's straight, especially when you got like lettering going on. And it's nice if you kind of keep it straight as much as you can. Alright, and you want to put the hinge first on all of your embossing folders. That keeps from tearing them up. So we'll run that through. I think I can set this aside. Okay. I had to stand up to do that. Alright, so here's our embossed. Don't know if you can see it very well. Alright, let's see. We'll go ahead and we'll glue that. Well, we're not going to glue that to our card base yet. We're going to get our strips of Designer Series paper, which comes out of that Simply Elegant. And we've got 2 of them. We've got one that measures, get my dimensions here. This one measures 1 inch by 5 7/16 inch. And then this one measures 1/2 inch by 5 7/16. And I know those are kind of odd measurements, but I didn't want that much of the card base showing, so I kind of kept it just a hair underneath. So let's glue down this first strip. And I don't think it matters which way it goes. And maybe this way. We're just going to put that with a small border on the left side. And then we'll take the 1/2 inch strip and lay that beside that other one, just a little gap in between. And there we go. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to trim off this excess here. Uh-oh, did I do the wrong one? No, I think I did. Okay, this should have been the inside one, which was 4 by 5 1/4. Did I grab the wrong one? Yeah, maybe, but we're going to make it work. Let me measure this one. This is 4 by 5 1/4, okay. So we're going to put that on the outside of our card. I want to add some silver twine. It's called Simply Elegant Trim, and that's in that same suite with the Elegantly Said. So it's got twine, it's got the paper, the stamps, and it seems like something else was included in it. You can find that in our annual catalog, the new one. And I'm just going to tie this in the middle, so we're just going to attach it with the Scotch tape again. So get a couple of those. And okay. Oops. And I'll snip that off. I just got glue all over my fingers. Alright, so here we have our trim. And did I not make a bow? I thought I had made a bow. I guess I didn't. So I'm going to get my bow jig and I'm going to make a bow using that same twine. I thought for sure I had made one. But it has flown the coop. I don't see it. Huh. We're done. We'll just do another one. And I'm just doing a single bow. I'm not doubling it up or anything. And come back in here and tie that. It's always more difficult to do this on camera. I don't know why. I guess because everybody's watching you. It makes you nervous or something. And we're going to trim off the ties on that. Pull our nails out of there. Oops. I have some glue on my fingers. Everything's wanting to stick to them. So we'll put this back in the package so I don't misplace it. This comes with the silver and the gold trim. So, I'm going to take my glue dot and roll that up in a tiny, tiny ball. And get you one off of here. I hope they switch back to the old way of making these glue dots. They've got it on the opposite side of the strip, and it seems awkward. You can't work with it as well as you could before. I wish they'd go back to the old way. Hopefully they'll get enough feedback and enough complaints that they will change it. Most demonstrators don't care for it, and I'm not sure about the customers either. Okay, so we're gonna glue this down to the front of our card base. And with the embossed cardstock, you might need to put a little extra glue, more than what you normally use. With all the raised edges, sometimes it doesn't want to stick really well. So you gotta use a little extra. And we're going to glue that to the front of our card base and get it centered. Which that's really crooked. I trimmed them off. I guess I didn't do a very good job. I could have snipped off a little bit more there. Alright, now we're going to take our elegant tag punch, and we're going to use just our basic black cardstock, and we're going to punch one of those out. And do we have time for that? Yeah. We're going to do some heat embossing. So I'm going to take my Versamark ink pad and some silver embossing powder. But I need a scrap of paper here so I don't get the powder all over. Maybe I should have an extra sheet of paper somewhere that we can use. Okay, this will work. And take our embossing folder. And I've got my embossing buddy, but for the life of me, I couldn't find it yesterday. So I just went and got me a dryer sheet, a new dryer sheet. And I'm going to use that to get rid of the static cling that might be on my cardstock. And hopefully that'll work okay. Alright, so we're going to take our stamp, which is for you. And we're going to get us some Versamark ink here, and we're going to stamp that at a little bit of an angle on our tag. Okay. Cover up our Versamark so we don't get embossing powder in it. And I've ran out of the silver embossing powder from Stampin' Up, so I've used a generic one. But I'm sure that it doesn't work as well as the Stampin' Up one does. But we're going to deal with it today. And kind of flick that off. And I thought I had a brush in here. There it is. I just use an old paintbrush to kind of get rid of the excess that might have got stuck where I don't want it to be. Kind of brush that off. Alright. And we're going to dump this back into our container. Put the lid on it, and we're going to bring our embossing tool over here. And before I started the Stampin' Up, I usually just bought some of my supplies at Hobby Lobby or wherever. So I haven't switched over to Stampin' Up's heat tool yet because mine is still working, so I hate to go buy another one when I have one that's already working. So just bear with me just on here. We're going to melt that embossing powder. You can kind of see it turn. You don't want to heat it a long time because it will burn your embossing powder. So just until you see it changing color is all it takes. So we're going to take that, we're going to put that up on dimensionals. I'm going to use my black dimensionals, only because I've got the black cardstock. And I've got a dog hair there. Cookie, you're leaving your hair. So we're going to put some of those black dimensionals on the back side. And then we will pop those off. It seems like the black ones have more sticky in them for some reason than what the white ones do. I kind of noticed that. Oh, great, and I didn't stamp that first. Well, I don't know if I can make that work or not. I have a situation here. I forgot to do the flower on the side. It's supposed to be done before I emboss the paper. Let me see if I can fix my boo-boo. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I may have to scrap it. Let me grab a stamp block over here. Excuse my reaching. This is kind of a flourish that we're going to put in the corner. And I'm just going to use my basic gray ink pad. And keep your fingers crossed that this will work. And it's supposed to be done before I did the embossing. But maybe we'll luck out here. I don't know. So I'm just going to leave it there for a while and press really hard so it gets down into the grooves, and maybe we can make it work. Alright, the unveiling. Nope, that didn't work. Well, what we can do next is we can take some cardstock and we can emboss it, stamp it and emboss it and match it to that. Strip. It is. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this, and we're going to emboss it and cut it all down to fit. We're going to glue that on top of that other one. And it goes in this lower corner. See, even with mistakes when you're stamping, there's usually a way to fix it. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that this will work. Alright, let me run over to the embossing machine and do this really quick. Looks like it's supposed to. Now we just need to cut it down to size to fit over that. So that measures, let's see, about 2 1/4. Write that down. 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. This is what not to do when you're working on projects like this. If you need to stamp your paper, be sure you stamp it first before you emboss it. Alright, so we're going to cut this down to 2 1/4 inches. And again at 5 1/4. Alright. I might save this for something else later. You never know. Where do I set this so it's not going to fall right there? Alright, let's bring our card back over here and we're going to fix our mistake there. Put some glue on there. My glue bottle must be getting empty because I have to shake it to get it to go back down. Alright, and we're going to match up these outer edges. not so bad. I can go with that. Now we're going to take our tag and we're going to attach that to the front of our card. And we're going to kind of put it in the center. And all right. And then we've got some black matte dots. And we're going to place some of those on there. And I'm going to use the small ones. And I'm just looking at my card where I have those. We'll place one there. And another one right there. And then we'll put one at the bottom of the tag. Maybe right there. Set those down. Okay, so that's not so bad. We fixed our boo-boo. All's well. And now the inside. Alright, we need to cut this down because I used the wrong cardstock when I did the front. So we're going to cut this down to 4 inches. I just gotta cut a hair off of it. And 5 1/4 inches. Alright. And we have another strip of the Designer Series paper, which, where did my directions go now? I kind of misplaced them. Okay. This designer's paper that we're going to put on the inside measures 1 inch by 4 inches, and the cardstock that we're putting in the inside is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down to the inside, or we're going to glue this first to the bottom strip here. We might go over just a tiny bit today. It's kind of hard to keep it at just an hour when I'm doing 3 cards. So I hope it works for everybody. You don't get bored with me too much. Alright, we're going to turn that over. We're going to snip off that excess. I need to clean off my scissors later, I guess, because I'm getting a lot of glue on them. Alright, and then I'm going to be using the Wishing You a Wonderful Birthday on the inside. And we're going to use our basic gray ink pad again to stamp our sentiment, our inside sentiment. I like the font on this, it's pretty. And get that on there straight. Close up our ink pad. And we're going to glue this to the inside of our card. Is anybody got any plans for the week? I don't have any special thing going on. It's just kind of my normal. So, and we'll glue that to the inside of our card. Maybe I lead kind of a boring life, maybe. Nothing exciting. But sometimes boring is good. No drama. Alright, so there's our 3rd card. It's for you. Wishing you a wonderful birthday. So, let me kind of pick up here and then we'll close up for the day. I've lost the cap to my glue. It's here somewhere. I've got a mess on my desk. You don't really want to see it. It's a disaster. I think every inch is covered with something. That's how we work. I don't know. I can't work on a clean desk for some reason. It always ends up being a mess. And it leaves me with a tiny space to work. Okay, so here was our first card. Let me get these out of the way. Make sure that they all fit on the screen here, okay. And our second and our third. I'm just going to give a moment for the camera to catch up here to make sure they're all in view. Which one isn't very well? Let's get you a bit more. I guess you can kind of see that way. Okay, well, I'm glad that you all joined me today, and be sure that you like and share the video, and share with your friends and family. And I'm going to look at my calendar for next week. It would be Monday, July 26th at 11 a.m. Central Time. I'll be back again. And maybe we'll be doing something like July or Christmas in July. I might do some Christmas cards. It all depends on if my order comes in on time. I've got, I think, a couple Christmas stamps coming in. So I want to thank you again for being here today. Everybody have a safe and healthy week, and we'll see you back again next Monday, July 25th at 11 a.m. Central Time. And be sure to tell your friends and family. Thank you.